I'm Michaela Chavez, your neighborhood news reporter at Texas A&M University, Kingsville. The Biden administration made a change to Title IX, and it's caused some controversy. I headed to campus to talk to some students about what they think of this change that's months away. Title IX is a federal civil rights law created in the 70s to prevent sex-based discrimination in federally funded schools. Now the Biden administration has added a new clause. Beginning August 1st, Title IX will also cover discrimination based on sexual orientation and gender identity. The most controversial aspect of that change is that it would allow transgender men to compete in women's sports. A&M Kingsville senior Chris Olivares says he follows university and professional sports regularly and can see both sides, but he explained what concerns him.
Men should play men's sports and women should play women's sports, primarily because of the fact that I don't feel comfortable having a grown man coming into a sport that's dominated by women just for them to reset all these records that all these women have worked so hard to do. And I don't see the fairness in all of that.
Sophomore Mark Foz says he can also see where the Biden administration is coming from. He also has a major concern.
There are going to be differences in the locker room. I've been in those guys' locker room, or basketball, football, no matter what it is, and there are things that you should keep away from maybe the other gender.
And speaking from her own experience, freshman Taylor Hood shared why she opposes the change to Title IX.
I did play on an intramural team that was boys and girls, and the boys definitely were able to play at a higher plane, as they could throw the ball all the way from outfield into infield, and the girls could throw it probably half of that.
Hood says regardless of viewpoints, she knows one thing for sure.
There's definitely going to be people that are protesting against it and taking a stand against it and not playing their sport, or maybe just holding a protest on their campus about it.
I asked university officials for comment on this change to Title IX. They said they can't comment at this time. Meanwhile, the revision is already facing a legal challenge. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton has filed a lawsuit against the Biden administration over what he calls an unlawful federal rule. With your neighborhood news in Kingsville, I'm Michaela Chavez, Chris 6 News.
Now, Title IX was enacted by Congress in 1972 and signed into law by President Richard Nixon. It prohibited sexual discrimination in any educational program or activity that received federal financial aid. In July 1978, a deadline was set for high schools and colleges to comply with Title IX athletic requirements. Then in 1984, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that Title IX applied only to specific programs like a school's Office of Financial Aid. The ruling also stated athletic departments were not necessarily covered. The Civil Rights Restoration Act of 1987 reversed that ruling and restored Title IX's institution-wide coverage. Over the next 3 decades, there were more challenges to Title IX. Then on January 20th, 2021, President Biden issued an executive order to prevent and combat discrimination on the basis of gender identity or sexual orientation. The executive order also applied to Title IX.